Welcome back to another episode of the Homeschool Help Desk, this channel where I provide information for homeschoolers, anybody looking for homeschool information, anything like that. I'm here to hopefully provide some information as well as show you guys kind of like what we do going forward. These first few videos that I'm making for this channel are more informative for rules and regulations on what's going on. Just now, this is not an exhaustive set of the rules. This is just some overview information that I've seen. And so I just wanted to share this information with you guys in case you live in this state or you know anybody in this state that may be interested in homeschooling or homeschooling. They probably already know some of these rules and regulations already. So let me go ahead and dive into it. I'm reading straight from my iPad for my notes, nothing else, and I'm just doing this uncut. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So first of all, this is Maryland's information. Maryland law is Education Article Section 7-301, Annotated Code of Maryland Compulsory Attendance, and COMAR 13A.10.10.01 are the ones that are dictating the information that I'm giving you here. In between the age of 5 and 18, you are required to go to school, public school, regularly during the entire school year, unless they're receiving regularly thorough schooling during the year and studies taught in similar to studies taught in public school with the children the same age. Maryland does recognize non-public schools and homeschooling options for public school enrollment. So this is a little bit different than Pennsylvania, where we are. Pennsylvania has 6 and higher. They just recently changed that, so that's some of the information there. Just in comparison, notification, just like in Pennsylvania and a lot of the other states, you need to notify your school district that you are homeschooling. This must be done 15 days before you begin your home instruction programs, what they call it, homeschooling, things like that. So that's your notification. Your curriculum, similar to everywhere else. This stuff is really just standard with a few tweaks like Pennsylvania has. They want you to have Pennsylvania history. I'd assume some of the other places would want you to have a state history as well, or local history. So reading from here, home instruction program must provide a regular, thorough instruction studies taught in public schools to children of the same age, including instructions in English, mathematics, science, social studies, art, music, health, and physical education, and must take place on a regular basis during the school year and be of sufficient duration to implement the instruction program. The home instruction program may include enrollment on a part-time or full-time basis in courses offered by an accredited or unaccredited colleges. So I think that's kind of great that they put that in there with the colleges. One of the things that they cover in here is music, which Pennsylvania, from what I've seen, they've kind of lumped it together. We do music. It's not mandatory all the time, and I could be just totally talking out the other side of my mouth right now. I'm trying to recall in my head because we just went over this with my kids. So forgive me if I say something wrong in the comments. Correct me. Do whatever you need, especially if you're living in Maryland and what's going on. But I mean, you're going to get your basics that you see in a lot of the other places. You're going to get, math, reading, health. Health is a big one. Physical education. All this stuff must take place on a regular basis. They're not saying do it every day, but be consistent with it is the take-home message there. Portfolio, just like everywhere else, you got to show proof that you did stuff. The portfolio I find is interesting in Maryland because in Pennsylvania you hire somebody to do the portfolio. You go to somebody, third party, they review the information, they talk to your kids. I did a video about that recently based on the information we had. I wish I would have gotten some footage of our portfolio meeting. I failed to bring my camera and I failed to ask the evaluator if I could just grab snippets of what's going on. But anyway, it's fairly straightforward. It's one of these things that Pennsylvania, you go find somebody to do it. With Maryland, you have to provide the information to the State Department or to your I'm drawing a blank, to your superintendent and so on. Either the parent or guardian provides information, maintains a portfolio materials to be reviewed by local superintendents or designee, which demonstrates. So I guess you could fall the designee under a third party, which demonstrates regular, thorough instruction in the studies, usually taught in public schools to children of the same age, or the parent guardian of a program, the supervisor of a non-public school or institution approved. So this is something you need a portfolio if you go somewhere like a cyber charter school, something to that effect, to get that information. You need to show that you actually did stuff. You just can't say it. People aren't going to take it on good faith. Oh, little Johnny was over there going to school when, he was running around the whole year, not really learning anything. So just like everywhere else, you got to prove that you're actually learning, you're teaching, so on. Who conducts the portfolio reviews? This is what I was mentioning before. Families have several choices to review. You can work directly with local public school superintendents and their representative. Contact your district's homeschool coordinator to learn more about that. You can also have your child's portfolio reviewed by an approved non-public school, including church-exempt schools and education ministries. So they don't have per se like we have up here in Pennsylvania, where you hire somebody that is an evaluator. You actually have to go to a third-party school. You have to go to the school district itself. They're the ones that are going to conduct this review of the portfolio. The superintendent, that's the one that kind of got me, was you must not have enough schoolers, or if you do, your superintendent must not be that busy if he's taking in some of the stuff. And it specifically says to do that, which is pretty wild in my thought process on this. I figured your superintendent is busy doing other things. I don't want to say more important things, because that's not true when it comes to the portfolio, but they're doing other things to, with the school. They have, I don't think that's time spent wisely for them when you can have somebody else do it, or have a specific person. They were talking about a district homeschool coordinator. So this person will find you somebody. I think it's kind of silly that the superintendent's doing it, when this is something you're just checking to make sure the kids went to school, did their schoolwork, they have proof of it, etc. Let your superintendent handle all the other things going on and do it. For example, up here in Pennsylvania, we have third party. So, I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that, you can have your portfolio reviewed by an approved non-public school, which includes your church-exempt schools, education ministries, and they do have a list of non-public schools. I'll put it in the link if you are in Maryland and you are interested in homeschooling, or you are homeschooling for the first time and you're looking for someone, or you've been doing this for a while and you're looking for somebody different. So, and you don't want to deal with your homeschool coordinator. Can you get stuff from the school? And I say stuff, like Pennsylvania, you can go request curriculum, the textbooks and things like that your student would be using if they were in the classroom. Maryland is a no on that. A parent or guardian who chooses to provide home instruction program for their child is responsible for selecting curriculum and or instructional materials to be used. The home instruction regulation outlines certain aspects of the program that must be present, but also reserves the parent or guardian a certain amount of flexibility to create a program that meets the needs of the child. So again, this goes back to what I was mentioning earlier when we were talking about the curriculum. Just as long as you're showing consistency, you can set things up specifically for your child. You don't have to stick to one thing and do it that way. I don't know of anybody that has gone to the school and asked for books, with the exclusion of my mother-in-law, back when my wife was being homeschooled. I heard stories that they were trying to go to the school district to get books to do some history, things like that. You don't want all of it. Maybe you want to focus on a certain type of math, but then you want to do history through the school or whatever book they use, because those books, in my opinion, are pretty good. So she went over and asked. The school district said, we don't have enough books for the students. And it's like, what in the world's going on? If my child was not homeschooled, they'd be in school and they would have a book. So is this it sounded like it was a lie or it was something made up. But anyway, Pennsylvania, you can go grab that. Maryland, you cannot. Another big thing that Maryland hits, and this again goes with the COMAR 13A 1010-1. Home instruction regulations do not include provision to allow children receiving home instruction to participate in courses or activity offered by the local school system other than the standardized testing programs. So Pennsylvania, you can go, they just revised it so you can do more things, but Pennsylvania, you can go take part of extracurricular activity outside of school. They now have it where you can do stuff in school, like theater, stuff like that. They made those provisions that school districts cannot exclude you from that. Maryland doesn't have that provision. They do not allow you to do that. Can't play sports. You can't do any of that. So if you're interested in that stuff, then homeschooling is probably not right for you. But I will caveat that by saying there are other ways for your child to play sports. There are, Pop Warner leagues, for lack of a better term. There are, if your child's young enough, you could be doing Little League Baseball. There are places around, and then there are other leagues that will take your child in, and you could sign up for it. It's just not through the school district, which, in my opinion, I think that's silly. This goes back to thought process on taxes. And I'll say this a lot. I'll say this probably in a lot of different other videos. We're paying taxes in the school district. I know we pay school district taxes. And I would be kind of upset if my child couldn't play high school baseball because he wasn't in the school district. He was homeschooled. It's like, we're paying taxes to pay for the buildings, for education for other people. We're choosing to pull out, which I understand, some arguments saying, well, you're choosing to pull out, so you advocate those rights to where you have to buy your own curriculum, etc. Okay, whatever. I can see where I could argue, then give me a tax break on it, whatever. But we're paying taxes on this stuff. We're in the school district. Let the kid do extracurricular activities. Pennsylvania's great about that. When it comes to everything else, other states, Maryland, that we're focusing on today, no, you can't do that, unfortunately. So that's the one thing, unfortunately, the low spot that I want to leave you guys at is school. You can't do it. 5 to 18 is your age range. You have to see somebody within your district or a alternative school, like a Christian exempt, I think is how they worded it. So those are kind of your background. Portfolio's the same. Your schooling, education, can't get your books from the school district, but you can get your information elsewhere and tailor it specifically to your child if they have a need that you see needs to be met. That is pretty much it for this one. This is Maryland. I'm going to be doing Delaware next. We'll go from there. I'll try to hit New Jersey and Virginia and a few of the other surrounding states from Pennsylvania. If you guys have a state you want to know some more information about, let me know, and I will try to gather things. I will post links down below on the citations and where I'm getting information from. I'm just using searches to gather my data, but then I'm also trying to, the rules and stuff like that, kind of copy that so that you have a general link to get back to if you're interested in learning more about that. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you guys like and subscribe. It's not going to be just full information, thrown at you guys. When the school year starts for us in July, I'm planning on putting some more information when we go homeschooling and doing things like that. So anyway, hope you guys have a great one, and we'll see you next time.